Hello again, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us for this Sunday's edition of Alaska Weather. I'm Dave Percy, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service, and I'll be hosting today's show. Excuse me. Up first here, the river breakup map, and still a stretch, pretty good, well, really long stretch of open water here over for the Colville River, and there's still a flood advisory along the Colville River, actually on out from New Ixit, on out to the Delta. And that's out until 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And high water also on the Kapparik and Sag River, about the same here. You can see unknown areas there, and still some ice right out toward the coastline. Otherwise, mostly open. And so breakup's about to come to an end for 2018. And for the fire danger, a few spots showing up now with high fire danger here. Northeast of Bethel there. Southern Kuskokwim Valley area, and also out here along the southern coast, or the Yukon Delta coast, or south coast of Norton Sound, from the Nulato Hills, a spot, another area out toward the coastline, and then also south central Alaska here, portions of the Sitna-Matanuska Valley had some higher fire danger, as well as the recreational area there, south of Turnagain Arm there, from Kenai on up to Turnagain Arm, Captain Cook recreational area, I believe. Otherwise, pretty well low fire dangers for the remainder of interior Alaska and the southeast coast. Satellite imagery today showing this weakening front right through here, that band of clouds spreading eastward, catching up to it there. Sunshine here over south central Alaska, cloudiness in through here. That brought I had showers in there with, again, thunderstorms developing over here in the eastern interior, but Ruby picked up about 1/10 of an inch of rain in a shower there today, and other areas either a few hundredths of an inch or not much more than 1/10 of an inch. Dry back out toward the Seward Peninsula. Areas of low clouds, look like some clearing also up there on the north slope, maybe even the Arctic coast. More clouds here over the eastern Copper River Basin. Down to the North Gulf Coast, thunderstorms, actually a line right through here, extending all the way down to just west of Yakutat. Had lightning strikes today. And the southeast coast, a little bit better, less in the way of showers. Southern areas there, you can see this band of moisture kind of moving up, stalling, and then dissipating. That still brought about, let's say, 1/3 of an inch of rain to the Klawak area during the day today in the 12-hour period. And the next system out to the west there, spreading rain and fog into the western Aleutians, not reaching Adak yet, but mostly cloudy skies over all the Bering Sea areas, low clouds, fog, and drizzle here, Pribilof Islands. Clouds all the way down to the eastern Aleutians. Light precipitation here, a narrow band with this dissipating front. You can see the gradient, nothing like it was yesterday. Main low center pulling off to the northwest, it too slowly weakening. A little breezy, not too bad though, St. Lawrence Island, some fog around there, sunshine, Seward Peninsula, and thunderstorms developing here in the interior, mostly on the north side of this trough axis, but again, extending southward here to the eastern Copper River Basin, down to the North Gulf Coast, eastern North Gulf Coast. Sunshine, temperatures in the 70s from Kenai Peninsula, Susitna Valley, right up into the central eastern interior of Alaska. And the forecast for tonight, still some scattered showers here, but diminishing there for the southeast coast, coastal areas. Dry back to the north. Dissipating showers there with whatever thunderstorms develop, just be some showers this evening, and they'll be on their way out here for the North Gulf Coast, even the Copper River Basin area. Mostly dry and partly to mostly clear over the central interior areas, right on down south central Alaska. Should be just a partly cloudy day or evening, overnight period for Kodiak Island, and some isolated thunderstorms there in the decreasing mode there throughout the night for the area in northern Koyukuk Valley, central Brooks Range. Low clouds and fog becoming quite extensive up over the north slope and, of course, the Arctic coast, down into the Chukchi Sea, and probably all the way to St. Lawrence Island, linking up with this ever weakening but persisting area of light rain along that boundary here. Light rain, fog, drizzle, nothing more than just probably a few hundredths of an inch, and that's about it, all the way down to the Alaska Peninsula. And that next system kind of weakening into a trough, losing the frontal structure it was trying to develop. Just a trough swinging through the central Aleutians. Light rain, fog, and drizzle there. Westerly winds maybe 10 to 20. And low clouds, fog, drizzle, IFR conditions here. Eastern Aleutians up across the Pribilofs. Taking a look at the day for tomorrow. Scattered thunderstorms here up over the northern interior. And northern Susitna Valley to mostly around the Alaska Range area there. Denali, best chance of some thunderstorm activity possibly. Mostly sunny day here, south central Alaska. Risk of a shower, southern Kenai Peninsula. Mostly sunny in the southwest. Low clouds and fog dissipating over the north slope throughout the day. And rain again sliding into the Alaska Peninsula. This system, just some showers, scattered showers for the central Aleutians. Westerly winds 15, maybe 25 on the speeds. And still, chance of showers, especially down over the southern southeast coast. Upper level low pressure keeping it unsettled there and a little unstable. So you have to expect a few showers to be around with mostly cloudy skies. Maybe a little bit better chance at some clearing and sunshine farther north. And this low in the Gulf really not doing a whole lot, very weak. And it's practically gone, or it is gone here for Tuesday. Now, mostly dry, partly sunny. Call it for the southeast coast here. This system nudges a chance of rain up to possibly as far north as Heidelberg in the late afternoon. Just a chance with a general increase in the clouds over the southern areas from Dixon Entrance. But most of the southeast coast, North Gulf Coast looking pretty good as well. Partly to mostly starting out partly sunny over much of the southeast interior as well as all the way up to the north there. And then building cumulus and scattered showers developing. And any one of these showers could develop into a thunderstorm or two over the interior. Shower chances Kenai Peninsula south along the southern coast. Maybe there, Shelikof Strait, the Aleutian Range, Kodiak Island, partly sunny to mostly sunny southwest interior. Northward up into the Noatak Valley areas, showers, isolated thunderstorms up there again, as like you saw today there. Not a lot going on out over the Bering Sea, just a very weak trough, a little precipitation. Not much in the way of wind, but extensive areas of low clouds and fog from the Chukchi Sea all the way down to the Aleutians. And low temperatures for tonight, upper 40s to lower 50s, central interior, upper 20s to lower 30s, Arctic coast, near 40 for the Pribilofs, lower 40s for the Aleutians, southeast coast 40s to near 50, 40 south central Alaska. Highs for tomorrow, 65 to 72, so sitting in Manduska Valley areas, otherwise 50s to mid 60s here for the remainder of south central Alaska, in the 50s for the Panhandle, mid 30s there along the Arctic coast, otherwise north slope into the 40s, 70s to near, well, I'll call it mid to upper 70s for the interior, low 40s for the Bering Sea. And moving on to low temperatures for Tuesday morning, even milder here, lower 50s covering the area from the upper Yukon Valley to the mid-Tanana Valley, all the way back out to, say, Kobuk, Ambler, Galena, low 52, McGrath about 49, and the highs into the mid to upper 70s in the interior once again, and 50s, lower 60s across the Panhandle.
And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Again, starting out Monday morning up here, North Slope, Arctic coast, lots of IFR. IFR here, St. Lawrence Island, from the Bering Strait, south across St. Matthew Island, down to the Pribilofs, and into, looks like Kuskokwim Bay. Marginal VFR, a little ways inland, but not too far, otherwise VFR through the interior. IFR, Alaska Peninsula, Kodiak Island, into the Gulf. Marginal with areas IFR out west, and the southeast coast here, some IFR over the over toward the border there, back up toward Wrangell Petersburg, and then marginal Prince of Wales Island VFR over the remainder of the area. And for the afternoon tomorrow, again, temperatures warming, triggering some thunderstorms up over the northern interior, central northern interior. IFR persisting along areas of the Arctic coast. Good VFR though, as you can see. Much of the interior, marginal VFR, barely along the coast out here, with the IFR a little farther back to the west, over the Pribilofs, not quite for Nunivak Island. IFR, east side of Kodiak, southern Kenai Peninsula, eastward, over toward Port Alexander and Sitka. Otherwise, marginal VFR for the Panhandle and the Aleutians, not much change for the Bering Sea either. And then for Tuesday morning, a little more in the way of IFR out here over the Bering and the west central Aleutians. Pribilof's IFR, St. Matthew Island. Eastern Aleutians IFR, south side of the Alaska Peninsula, to Kodiak Island, across the Gulf. IFR right into the northern panhandle here. Marginal VFR down to the south. Arctic coast, North Slope. Looks like a fair amount of IFR again, right up to the Brooks Range. South of the mountains, though, good VFR over all of the interior. Looks like some marginal VFR now into Cook Inlet for Tuesday morning. There are probably low clouds. Anyway, marginal VFR. And then for the afternoon, that kind of holds here, especially over the central and southern inlet down across Kodiak. VFR afternoon scattered isolated thunderstorm activity in the interior. IFR right along the Arctic coast of the Bering Strait. Looks like VFR here, say the Seward Peninsula and Kotzebue Sound area, Norton Sound, all along the southwest coast, Bristol Bay. IFR back to the west a little bit there, but still catching the Pribilofs. And ADAC with marginal for Shimia. Northern Panhandle has some marginal VFR lingering, otherwise good conditions all the way down to the Queen Charlotte's. Patchy areas of IFR, North Gulf Coast, Prince William Sound. Passes, Anatuvik VFR, same forecast for Adigan for Monday, probably Tuesday as well, VFR flying. And for the Western Alaska Range, Lake Clark and Merrill, good VFR, wide open for rainy as well. Chance of an isolated afternoon thunderstorm. Windy VFR. And for Isabel, again, just a risk of a thunderstorm, otherwise VFR. VFR from Antasta. Tanita, same forecast. Portage, VFR, start to finish. And Chilkoot and White, VFR. Freezing levels, 8,000 feet here, eastern interior into the Yukon, 6,000 feet down to the North Gulf Coast. Back across the northwest coast, 4,000 feet. A little cooler out there over the Bering Sea. Tad cooler over the southern panhandle. Icing, not a whole lot. Best chance would be in these shaded areas here. Alaska Peninsula up to Nunivak Island. Enough moisture to catch eastern Aleutians there with some isolated rime mostly. Probably no moderate at all. Mixed icing here, northern panhandle. Just a chance, nothing significant at all. Jet stream, well to the south. Several upper level lows. The one here keeps plaguing the southeast coast, especially in the southern areas. A couple out here over the Bering Sea. Jet well to the south of the area. So moving on to 9,000 feet, a little bit more significant low here near the Alaska Peninsula. One farther back out to the west there, and then this one sliding off to the east-southeast. So we've got light wind flow over the panhandle. Into the Gulf of Alaska is 15 knots, southern Alaska. 20 to 30 knots, so picking up for Kodiak Island, and 20 to 30 knot winds here around this low coming across the Alaska Peninsula. Could be some, maybe even 35 knot winds. Otherwise, that up to the Kuskokwim Delta, Kuskokwim Bay, lighter as you go north, 20 knots. East-southeast 25 there in a band across the Seward Peninsula. Light easterly flow, Brooks Range North Slope, and west-northwest 20 to 35 for the Aleutians, and the strongest winds just to the south of the area there. 3,000 feet, 20 to 25 or 20 to 30 here for the central Aleutians. Lighter back to the west, lighter to the north. And Fox Islands, Alaska Peninsula, not too bad. 15 knots over the interior, light winds for the panhandle. Turbulence, not a lot, Alaska Peninsula, maybe Cape Newenham, central Aleutians. And after the break, I'll be back with a look at the marine forecasts.
Dual polarization technology is a major upgrade to the current radar system. It allows forecasters a better idea of what's actually out there and can help keep you safe.
Current radar technology transmits and receives information in the horizontal direction, which is very limited. Dual polarization technology, in addition to the horizontal, transmits and receives vertical energy, which allows forecasters to get information about the size, shape, and phase of the precipitation. We can use that information to better determine the precipitation type to expect at your given location.
There you have it. This new technology is currently being installed in radars across the country and is already being used by National Weather Service forecasters to produce better, more accurate forecasts. Learn more here and follow us. Want to know about the future of weather radar? Well, the National Severe Storms Lab has it here with its new phased array radar. Let's check it out.
It's a non-moving radar. It has 4 faces of the antenna, each pointing in different directions. One of the big advantages is that we're seeing so far, it can sample the area around the radar in less than a minute, maybe even a half a minute. And this is 5-6 times faster than what they can do today.
NSSL is leading the development of future weather radar with this project. Learn more here and follow us. The Storm Prediction Center is one of the NOAA weather partners. They are located in the National Weather Center in Norman, Oklahoma. Greg Carbon gives us a glimpse into what the SPC does.
Our mission is to analyze and forecast severe thunderstorms and the potential for tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds from those thunderstorms across the lower 48 states, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. One of the primary missions of the Storm Prediction Center is the issuance of severe thunderstorm and tornado watches across the country when conditions appear to be coming together to support the development of severe thunderstorms and tornadoes.
The world-class meteorologists in the Storm Prediction Center specialize in severe weather and keeping you safe. Learn more here and follow us.
The National Severe Storms Lab is working on increasing the lead time for severe weather warnings. The national average for tornado warnings is currently 13 minutes, but more notice would be helpful, especially for those in charge of moving large groups to shelter. Warn on Forecast will help forecasters issue hazardous weather warnings earlier. The project will give them more info about the chances of strong winds, large hail, and even tornadoes.
Currently, warnings are created by forecasters looking at the atmosphere outside, understanding its volatility, and then comparing that to how they see the Doppler radar presenting what's going on inside thunderstorms. Warn on Forecast is an idea where we're going to take the massive amounts of satellite, radar, and surface data and stick them all into a very high resolution prediction model. And then by producing new forecasts every 15 or 20 minutes, the forecasters hopefully will be able to use that model to produce warnings that extend out to an hour.
Before the National Weather Service can use this tool, it must be developed and tested. One big challenge will be deciding how to get the model predictions to the forecasters.
I'm going to keep this one very low. I'm just adjusting the track.
These hazardous weather prediction models are going to produce a huge amount of output. And this fire hose of data is just too much for forecasters to handle in real time quickly. So in order to help deal with that, NSSL has developed a related project called Facets. And Facets is the methodology which will enable forecasters to focus very quickly on the most important threats.
Once Warn on Forecast and Facets are proven to be reliable and effective, then forecasters will be better able to inform you of threats nearby. Learn more here and follow us.
The Hazardous Weather Test Bed is located at the National Weather Center in Norman, Oklahoma. It is used for experiments that will allow forecasters to learn and apply new technologies.
The Hazardous Weather Test Bed is a really unique space throughout all of NOAA. And this is where the researchers and the operational folks come together in a common space to solve operational problems and to test new research tools that the research community is working on. The goal is to accelerate the transfer from research to operations of the newest tools and techniques.
People come from around the world to collaborate on this unique project.
We can bring together not only NOAA people, but also university people, faculty, researchers, private sector meteorologists, folks working in other countries in meteorology, forecasters can all come together and focus on what the problem of the day is with the forecasters.
Each spring, several experiments occur in the hazardous weather test bed. Learn more here and follow us.
What are you looking at? And what are you ignoring? Did you notice the NOAA logo in the corner? Forecasters have a lot of information in front of them too. Every second counts during severe weather, and decisions about where to focus are constantly being made. This could be even more challenging in the future. Phased array radar will produce 4 to 6 times more information than what we have now, which brings us to the question researchers are hoping to answer. Will more radar information affect forecasters' decisions?
From our past experiments, we've learned a lot about how forecasters think during the warning decision process, but we've also learned that those thought processes are very complex, and for that reason, we need a better way to be able to track forecasters' cognitive activity.
Inbounds and possibly golf ball sized hail.
An eye tracker is a piece of technology that is used to determine in real time where someone's eye gaze is located. And these eye trackers are typically video-based, which means a camera sits below a computer monitor, and with infrared light and vector analysis, we can determine where a person is looking and how their eyes are moving.
Eye tracking is already being used in the medical field and air traffic control. Using similar research methods, NSSL is discovering the benefit for weather forecasting too. Phased array radar will give forecasters a lot more to think about. Understanding their decision-making process will help researchers develop even more user-friendly tools. So what's the benefit for you? Even better weather warnings. To learn more, check us out online and follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
And now, marine weather around Alaska.
Welcome back. Looking at today's sea ice analysis, not a lot of change here. Not much ice left at all in or on Kotzebue or out here along the Seward Peninsula. This arm right here really dissipating, gradually shifting northward, and not much ice here even along the western part of the Arctic coast here, or more so no ice here along the northwest coast around, and diminishing here on the west side. And not much change for the next several days. For the coastal water forecast, south to southeast, roughly at about 10 knots, and seas 4 feet, west winds 15 on the north coast, south 20 knots, Lynn Canal, south 10 for Stevens Passage, southeast 15 for Clarence Strait. And for Tuesday, light variable wind, southern and central inside waters, south 15 in the afternoon for Lynn Canal, east winds 10 to 15, 4 to 6 foot seas on the north coast. Small craft advisories here on the south coast. The next front nudging northward to kick the winds up in the afternoon. Again, bring a chance of rain to southern Prince of Wales Island. But 25 knot winds, 10 foot seas coming in with that. Light westerlies, Prince William Sound tomorrow. 10 to 15 knot westerlies for the North Gulf Coast. Seas down to 3 to 4 feet. South 15, Cook Inlet with 3 foot seas. Kamishak Bay, light winds out of the south. Southerlies at 15 for the Barren Islands. And for Tuesday, light east winds are variable, light and variable, you could call it here for Prince William Sound, seas 2 feet, 15 out of the east here, turn northeast, 15 on the western North Gulf Coast, then back to the light east speed there, variety for the Barren Islands, southeast 15, Kamishak Bay, south to southwest, 15 knots, Cook Inlet, especially in the afternoon, and east winds 25 knots tomorrow for Bristol Bay. Otherwise, looking south to southeast here for the Alaska Peninsula, 15 to 20, and from Castle Cape to Sitkinak, southeast 20, light southeast winds, 15 on the east side of Kodiak, and light easterlies for Shelikof Strait. And the outlook for Tuesday, northeast 20 for Shelikof Strait, northeast 15 there for the eastern marine zones in Kodiak Island, southwest to Sitkinak, east winds at about 20, turning northeast here on the Pacific side of the peninsula, and only 15 knots on the Bering Sea side, southeast 10 for Bristol Bay. Out in the western Aleutians, westerlies, still small crafts there, 25 to 30 knots, seas up to 14 feet. And also the central Aleutians west, 25 to 30 with 8 feet on the Bering Sea side, south side, 14 feet. And then winds diminish here as you head over toward Unalaska Island, coming down to 15 to 20 from the south and southwest. Tuesday, north to northwest, 15 to 20 there across all the Fox Islands. Lighter winds in store for Adak and Atco. West-northwest 15 to 20, and even lighter winds coming into the western Aleutians. Again, not much, no storminess at all out there on Tuesday, 15-knot winds. And for the southwest coast, small craft advisory south of Nunivak Island. Out of the east at 25, Pribilof's only 15. Same thing for St. Matthew Island. East 20, north side Nunivak Island, and St. Lawrence Island, 15 out of the east. Northeast at 10, Norton Sound. North 20 for St. Lawrence Island on Tuesday. Small craft advisories now on the north side of Nunivak Island with 15-knot winds on the south. And the Pribilof's northeast 15, north 20 for St. Matthew Island with 7-foot seas. Up to the Arctic coast there on the eastern Beaufort Sea coast, easterlies 10 to 15. Central and west side, 15 out of the east. Cape Beaufort down to Wales, north 10, 2 to 3-foot seas. Outlook for the day on Tuesday, east to northeast 10 to 15. Eastern coast, central coast light out of the northeast. And 15 knots here on the west side. Now a little bit stronger in the winds, a little brisker, 20 knots out of the northeast from Cape Beaufort to Cape Thompson. And then here across the Chukchi Sea, north at 20 with 4-foot seas. Looking at tonight's map, still narrow band of clouds and areas of light rain or showers here. Along the southwest coast from the Bering Strait right down into Bristol Bay, but staying west of places like King Salmon. Mostly clear here, Kodiak Island, central interior, diminishing showers and thunderstorms wherever they happen to break out here late this afternoon, this evening. Another batch of rain pushing eastward across the Aleutians and trying to dry out, but low pressure, especially aloft, keeping it unsettled over the southern panhandle through tomorrow, but improving to the north. Same story tomorrow over interior Alaska as we saw today, and this weak system brings rain to the Alaska Peninsula, back up to the Pribilofs, trying to get into Nunivak Island. And then for Tuesday, again, showers, any one of which could develop into a thunderstorm over the interior. Dry, partly sunny, southeast coast, light winds, no storminess out over the Bering Sea, just a lot of low clouds, fog, marginal VFR and IFR. Let's look at the weather. Thank you for joining us, and tune back in tomorrow.
These forecasts are for planning purposes only. Call 1-800-WX-BRIEF for a formal pre-flight briefing. Always file a flight plan before you go flying. The U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary urges you to leave a float plan with a friend or the harbor master before you go boating.